This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
This is STARCAST, the official podcast of the Billingham Stars. Watch and listen for the latest news from the Big Red Machine.
Hello and welcome back to your official podcast of your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. This is STARCAST. We're in the middle of January. Plenty to talk about, as usual, for your Big Red Machine. Joined, as always, Carol and Jono here to talk about games last weekend and look ahead to cup action. Not necessarily for your Stars, but cup action coming up before we return to league action in a couple of weeks' time. Evening both. How's things this Tuesday night?
Yeah, just about thawed out after the weekend.
It was a little chilly.
Yeah, I needed our big coats in the north.
Yes. Big coat, definitely big coat weather.
I went two hoodies. I went two hoodies. I don't have a big coat.
For at least 5 minutes. But yeah, so plenty to talk about. I say we've got games and a few topics of any other business later on as well. But we'll start with the action from the weekend. 2 games for your Billingham Stars. Play the top 2 teams in the NIHL North Division 1. We're at Telford on Saturday and at home to Blackburn on Sunday. So we'll start in Telford on Saturday night, and I finished 6-3 to the Telford Tigers. And goals for the Tigers: Tom Byrne had 2, Dan Mitchell 2 for Vladimir Luka, and an empty net goal at the end from Jason Silverthorne. For your Stars, 2 goals from James Moss and 1 from Ian Brown. Jacob in net had 5 goals on 42 shots. And that was the stats, but didn't really tell the whole story. A kind of tight game till the middle of the third. Carol, we got ourselves back into it at 3s, and then Telford just pulled away in the last few minutes.
Yeah, well, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it?
Yeah, thank you.
It was always going to be a tricky visit down to Telford. I think they've only lost at home once all season, I think. So we knew what we were going to come up against. Nice to see Rowley back, and that was a boost. The key to that game was always going to be keeping Mr. Luca and Mr. Silverthorne quiet, and by and large, we pretty much did that until the last 5 minutes. And that's kind of where it all came undone. And honestly, it was a real piece of luck for Telford that kind of broke the deadlock. They kind of a floated clearance from our defensive zone, hits Luger in the chest and bounces onto his stick. So there's only really going to be one outcome from that, unfortunately. And that was kind of that. And it was so unfortunate, really, because we'd really kind of stayed with them for the entirety of that game, and actually in places, especially in the second period, looked for all the world like we might take the points. So yeah, a little disappointing, really, just to that soft centre we seem to have developed in the third period. It's kind of come back to haunt us again a little bit. But yeah, I think it was purely a little bit of luck there, a little bit of luck for Telford, and then that's it. They move away, and one of those goals was an empty netter as well. So hey ho, yeah, I'm not going to fault the lads though. That was a real a sterling effort down in Telford. Like I say, matched them all the way, and a team that's done so well on their own ice. So it's difficult to criticise anything really. There's nothing to criticise.
Yeah, right. Telford 10-1 at home this season. And Jono, as Carol says, fighting performance coming back. It was Telford led by 2 goals twice. They were 2-0 up and 3-1 up. And then the middle period, Ian brought it back to 3-2, and then Mossy scored. How good was James Moss this weekend? That's a different topic for a different discussion. But 3s each, 7 minutes to go. You had to feel you were in with something. But like it says, Carol says, the unfortunate. We kept Luca quiet until the 55th minute. He scores a couple. Silverthorne nets the empty net at the seal it, and it suddenly looks like a 6-3 game, which doesn't really tell the whole story.
Yeah. For 3.5 hour bus journey home on Saturday, I was thinking about what I could say about this game on tonight's pod. Even got to the rink on Sunday, and I asked a few people on their opinions on the game just to see if it aligned with mine, and was there anything I missed? Because I couldn't explain how we lost. I thought we were the better team for 54, 55 minutes. Even at 2-0 down, I thought we were unfortunate, and I didn't doubt we would get back in the game. The work rate, the energy the levels were fantastic from the lads. They knew it was a big game. They were up for the game. They played real well. But we played hard. We played physical. And I just can't put a finger on what went wrong. Like I say, we were 3-3 in the favourites to go and win the game, in my opinion. And for however it happened, Luca puts it in and 4-3, and you just look up and go, what have we got to do? Who have we upset this season? But even then, you think, right, okay, 3 minutes left in the game. We'll just go and get the equaliser. We'll take it overtime, and we'll just win it in overtime. Because Luca and Silverthorne did nothing all game. They've got 3 goals out of it, and they've got points out of it. But I can hand on heart and say they did nothing in that game. The scoreline flatters them by a long way. And I wouldn't be surprised if they mentioned in their changing room that they got away with one on Saturday. But like I say, at 4-3, I thought, yeah, we'll just go and equalise. We'll get it 4-4 and take it to overtime. And then obviously pushing to get back into the game. We give Luca the freedom of our zone, and he went and made it 5-3, and pretty much that was that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was obviously Telford on their own ice. We obviously battled a 1-goal game down there early in the season. We've seen how good they are. I think it was what you mentioned about the journey back. The guys were obviously thinking about the result, but I think they took it in the right way, because the way they came out on Sunday, obviously galvanized by their performance, if not the result. So I don't want to sound twee about it, but positives to take from the performance, if not the score, Carol.
Oh, absolutely. Like I've just said, I find it very difficult to find anything to criticise, other than maybe that little slip at the very end to give. You don't give Luca that much space ever, and you see what happens when you do. That's it. That's the only thing I can think of that we did all game that was not right. So I'm sure on the way back they're probably thinking the same as John. Oh, who the hell have we upset this season? Because nothing, absolutely nothing, no bouncers are going our way at all. So I think they'll have taken loads of positives from it. It was a far improved performance on last week. Even though, you know, it was a better performance than the one against Hull, and we won that game comfortably. So there'll have been loads of positives to take from it. You know, it's basically everything but the result. and that seems to be the story of a lot of our weekends this year. And maybe that is starting to get, I know it's frustrating me. God knows what it's like for the players, but it's frustrating the hell out of me. Because you see how well the guys are playing most weeks and not getting the reward for whatever reason, and it's frustrating. I think that's the word.
No, I 100% agree. You mentioned it at the early part of your review, Carol. Rowley came back into the lineup and making that line with Ian and Mossy. That had a couple of goals on Saturday, and they clicked again on Sunday. That's got the makings of a line to kind of do something for the rest of the season, perhaps.
Absolutely. I think we should probably save our plaudits for James Moss till the end of the Blackburn game, because quite honestly, the guy was phenomenal with a capital F this weekend. But the signs are there. Absolutely, that line could be a real thorn for some of the sides chasing silverware. Come the business end of the season. Any line with James Moss on it, basically.
Yeah. No, it was good to see Rowley back in the shirt, and obviously getting him back on the bench, Jono, and contributing that the experience. And you see a couple of times, obviously he's not 100% match fit after missing time, but you could see he's that languid skating of his. He's getting into positions, and he was starting to click a bit on the weekend. So possibly good signs for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he'll probably come back with a little bit of a point to prove himself. Not really got the numbers that he would expect from himself. Never mind what fans expect of any of the players. Himself, he's probably his harshest critic, and he knows that he's there to win his games. And if that's not happening, he does take that a bit personally. But no, it was great to have him back. He's a master of turnovers in the neutral zone with that long stick that he uses. He stretches out and slaps pucks away and causes turnovers. And when you can cause turnovers and you've got a James Moss on your line, you know it's going to be quite deadly for the opposition, especially the way James Moss is playing at the moment. And obviously, if you're tied up with one of them two, you've got Ian Brown, who I think is probably, I think the last couple of weeks he's just starting to find his rhythm. Unfortunately, it's come towards the end of the season. But I think maybe a lot of last seasons took a toll on him. But he's just now starting to find his rhythm. He seems to be skating a lot easier and smoother, and he's starting to shoot the puck a lot more. And he got his rewards this weekend. So that line, as you said there, could be very, very deadly. And with the performance of the weekend, I think one or two teams, especially the teams that we've played this weekend, might just want to avoid us come postseason.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned Ian there. I'm just looking, he's up to 22 goals, which in a normal season, you take 22 goals. It's just because what he did last year, it sounds like he's not performing, but 22 goals in the games he's played, he's still more or less a goal a game.
And every game he has 2 men on him. Yeah.
And he's like I say, he's starting to click, and let's say this line comes off. Let's see what the running can do. Anything else from Telford before we come home to the Blackburn game?
Yeah, officials need to be better when it comes to headshots. Simple as that. I don't mind hooks getting wrong. I don't mind slashes being wrong. But when there's headshots involved, that's the utmost of player safety, and they must do better. Even if they think that it might be slightly wrong, for the safety and the benefit of the players, just call the big penalty and deal with it afterwards. Don't let him get away with it just because you might think, he might have just missed his head. It's not good enough. I'd rather them be on the caution of safety and give the bigger penalty than anything else, or it will get worse.
And it wasn't just Saturday either, was it?
No.
Which we'll talk about. We'll see what if anything comes. I don't know if there's any reviews going in about the incident you're talking about on Saturday. Obviously caused a player to miss Sunday, so we'll see what happens on the back of that. But it was unfortunate. Was it unfortunate? We had the same official on both.
You see things like that, and you see the comments that go online afterwards. And I did see one comment from a Telford fan saying it was nothing from them. It was all us, and what a dirty team we are.
Yeah, a player on another team clearly says Lucas was checked on the back of the head. What was the referee playing at? And that's a player from our division that wasn't involved in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, Darren got all the plaudits on the bench. The lads appreciate what he did because he had no choice but to do that. You cannot let big dopey idiots like Connor Keys going around cross-checking people on the back of the head. Not the size of Lucas Dowdle anyway. And unfortunately for Connor Keys, he met his match in Darren, who dropped him twice, and he was daft enough to stand up both times.
Yeah. That fight went on obviously on the internet on Saturday because obviously Telford had the stream, so we saw the fight, but obviously the preamble to that. and you can see the ref's right there looking at it. So
Yeah.
what did he not see? Well, he didn't
The best
see.
thing for me though is when these sort of things do go on groups, 90% of the fans' comments said Darren was right to doing everything what he did. So they all must have seen something happen to Lucas. All the fans that have watched the video. So what is the referee actually looking at there? What has he not seen to think? Oh, you know what? I don't think I can call that as a cross check to the head.
I think having seen both games this weekend, John, we can answer that one, can't we? What's he seen? He's seen exactly the same as the rest of us. He just doesn't call headshots.
Yeah,
which is frightening.
Definitely, particularly when it's some of the players the size of the kind of the players in our division now, the size and the speed and the physicality. It's dangerous, full stop. So, yeah, we'll see what comes out, if anything, from the two games. With Telford on Saturday, I say, whoever's run over a black cat or walked under a ladder or broke a mirror or whatever we've done, the performance not getting the result is perhaps deserved from your Billingham Stars on Saturday. We returned then to the Forum Ice Arena on Sunday, and the top of the table Blackburn Hawks. By the way, can I just get this out way early? Until they have enough points to win the league, we are still the league champions. Right? Never mind where's your title gone.
Well, I mean,
we are the league champions until we're not. Okay.
Oh, it did make me laugh when they said, "Where's your league title gone?" And I just looked up to my right and saw there's a banner there. That's it. Oh, there's another banner. Oh, there's 4 banners there with 4 titles on from last season.
Yeah.
So yeah, all 4 titles are still ours. They always will be. 24-25 was our season, and they'll never ever take that away. So need to get used to that. So unless they match it or better it, fingers crossed for them this season. Because if they don't, I think they might be hearing a few things.
Yeah, but I just had to get that off me chest early. Otherwise, it would have just. But yeah, Blackburn come into town. Big crowd from both sides. Great atmosphere, I thought, and the final result went the way of the Hawks. Billingham 5. Blackburn 7 was the final score. We mentioned them as well. A hat-trick for James Moss, a goal for Lucas Dowdle, and a goal for Ian Brown, your scorers for the Stars. For Blackburn, it was Jakob Hayek, Liam Charnock, James Royds, Jack Brammer, and a hat-trick for Adam Barnes. The netminders, again, Harrison Walker for Blackburn, 34 shots, and Jacob, just the 47 shots on Jacob. Some big saves as well from Billingham's number 1, who wears number 2, just to confuse matters. Carol, do you want to kick us off? Kind of give the highlights. But a barnstorming game. Again, the result possibly didn't go our way, but again, the effort and the performance was fantastic.
It was save 4 or 5 minutes in the third period. You look at that game, and once again, you think we're the better team in that. Especially the first period. I think Blackburn coming out of that at 2-1 probably got in the dressing room and went, "Thank God it's only 1 goal difference." Because we more than matched them. It was. Last week's word was ridiculous. This week's word is frustrating. It's. You watch games like Saturday and Sunday, and you think, again, we've been the better team for long stretches of that game, and come out on the wrong side of it for a daft 5 minutes where, for whatever reason, loss of concentration, whatever it is, third period curse, I think we've started calling it now. We've switched off and given them a couple of goals. And again, that's really frustrating given how hard we'd worked to get ourselves in the position that we had. But we talked in the Telford game about positives to take. Well, how many do you want to take from that game? Because once again, both teams have raised themselves and given us a fantastic game to watch. So credit to both teams for that. But from the Stars' point of view, you know, we've more than matched a team with how many National League players? No face cages except one that chooses to wear a cage, doesn't need to. By the way, that's a bit of a hint to the Blackburn fans. Please don't sing about taking your cage off. He has to wear that. He's a junior. Yeah, it's just I'm not going to say frustrating again, but it was a really, really good game to watch. I mean, after last week when the entertainment was there for the, overtime and penalty shots, but for all the wrong reasons, this week was entertainment like we all want to come and watch hockey for. End to end, two teams giving it their best. Can't ask for more than that, really, except possibly a little bit more luck in the result, which would have been good, but you can't really ask for any more than we got. And the crowd responded accordingly. The fans were so loud. I'm sure I saw a message from Jono at one point in the first period going, "This is crazy loud." And even at the end, when we'd lost, the fans standing up and singing and being really positive. Again, not to Blackburn fans, sing about your own team, please. Don't sing about ours and be all negative. The positive chanting is so much better. And yeah, fabulous, absolutely fabulous. Fabulous entertainment. And it just proved to me that, this team is in the complete wrong position in the table. We just we need more luck. We need something to go for us. We need whatever hockey god hates us to just calm it down a bit. And we're in a false position, and I think Sunday's game proved that.
Yeah, 100%. Jono, from your side of the rink, then, the bench side, how do you say it, ringside? And I say that the noise obviously you've already talked about with Carol. Atmosphere fantastic, and the on-ice product didn't let us down.
Absolutely sensational. I mean, the weekend couldn't have been set up any better for Blackburn, really, was it? With us having a nice tough night, 3 hours down the road, getting back at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then they had the night before had a scrimmage or something, didn't they? They had a home game, nice little easy game on the Saturday, nice little knockabout to get confidence going, and nothing too stressful about. So they had plenty of energy left in the bag for our game on the Sunday. And I think, again, that probably does come into it a little bit in the third period, that our legs probably did go. Well, not if you're James Moss, because where he found that energy from was absolutely ridiculous, and we will get on to him, because I think I took him for granted before this weekend. But yeah, what a performance. When that first goal went in and the crowd reacted, I was like, we're in this tonight. This crowd are up for this game. And
yeah,
when you see the result at the end, that fan base, our fan base, appreciates our team more than ever for what they give on a weekly basis. They are so proud of a team that is exactly that, a team that turns up, that's local, that loves doing what they do, and that can't be replicated by brown envelopes or anything like that. That performance was what Billingham stands for, and that's what that crowd loves. We don't have to ever win a trophy again, but if those boys put in that level of commitment and performance, that crowd will be there every week, doing that every week. And that's what probably all that matters to me as a fan. Obviously, we'd like to win stuff, and that's what we play sports for and we all compete for. But if that's the level of effort that you get from this bunch of lads week in, week out, that crowd will love you and sing your name until they've got nothing left. And as for the game, it's just one of those things, isn't it? Last year, if this was last year, we'd probably get the rub of the bounce, the rub of the green, and the bounces go our way, and we probably get that late goal in the first period to go down 2-1 and then take control of the second period, a bit like what Blackburn did to us. I think Blackburn were quite strong in the second period. They had a good 15-minute spell where, to be fair, I don't think we got out of our zone much. They laid it on and they laid it on. Granted, to our boys, we defended very, very well. We did well to get back to being 4-2 up. Probably the only 2 times we left our zone, I think we scored. The third line goal was absolutely fantastic, and I think Lucas enjoyed it as well. Just really good graft, really, really good graft. Third or fourth goal? Fourth goal, was it? Sorry, we went 4-2 up.
Fourth one, yeah.
And I think it was probably that moment a lot of Hogs fans probably went, oh shit, this is not going to be what we think it's going to be. This is not going to be the easy ride we thought it was going to be. Because obviously the Blackburn and their fans have probably seen their team start quite slowly over the season and had probably slow first periods. So they probably thought, yeah, this is a bit of the norm. And then when obviously we got back into it in the second period, and then we left them again, you could look up. You looked up at saw some of their faces, and some of them were worried. A lot of them were worried when they went 4-2 down. So yeah, it wasn't meant to be. They found a way, which that team has to. They have to find a way. They have to find a way to win all 5 trophies this year. Whether they do that, that's on them. I couldn't care less whether they do or they don't. But for me, just on Stars, just on that performance, I went away from that ring with the biggest smiles and the biggest love and the biggest appreciation for that team than I ever had. More than I had last year. And that was, it was huge. Huge performance. And if we perform like that for the rest of the season, maybe we do say we put the league on notice, because if we do play like that for the rest of the season, we're going to certainly win a lot more games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, and say from the corner, unfortunately, I was closest to the Hawks fans, so I couldn't hear the full effect of our fans, but it comes across on the video for sure. The atmosphere was brilliant, and so it's just what you want from the kind of the top two, well, not the top 2 teams, but 2 of the top teams in the division, which we've obviously earned over the last couple of years, because we're still league champions until we're not. Okay, to say that again. But yeah, Hawks. You can't argue with the Hawks roster as it is. It's stacked. Adam Barnes is ridiculous. Jakub Hayek, I think, is probably the most underrated of their players. I think he's excellent for them. Don't see a need for Dylan Hullaby at all. Not what you want an import to do in our division, but that's their choice. And they've got quality right throughout. Sam Zajac, I don't think barely left the ice, from what I could see. But again, he's quality player. So it was great to live with them, to battle with them right at the very end. So it was, as John says, just proud of the performance. Right, we've been building up this for the whole weekend performance. This is your James Moss appreciation post. So I had 5 goals over the weekend. Sunday, 2 power plays and a short-handed. I think he threw in a couple of assists as well, didn't he? I'm just checking the stats. As John says, Carroll possibly he at times has been overshadowed by other players with the kind of the first line maybe and what have you. But on weekends like this, Mossy's effort and work rate is just phenomenal, with a capital F to borrow a phrase. And he's just Billingham Stars through and through.
Yeah. In fact, I think I'm right in saying, and somebody can check this, and by all means, if I'm wrong, just tell me, because it wouldn't be the first time. I think he might be the only player left on our roster that played for the Bombers. I think I'm right saying that. But whether I'm right or wrong, he's been with the Stars since the merger, and I think John was dead right. I think because he's been here so long and he's part of the furniture, etc. Sometimes we do completely take him for granted, and he is one of the best players in this league. And I don't say that lightly. I know we've got phenomenal imports and all the rest of it. You know, you look at other teams and the players that they've got from National League imports, whatever you want to say. Mm-hmm. James Moss is one of the best players in the league. I can't sum it up any better than that. And like I say, I think from Stars' point of view, we probably do take him for granted because he's been here forever. But we shouldn't, and we should cherish that lad because he's amazing. And I hope he stays around for a lot longer. He seems to get better with age, to be fair.
Yeah.
Like every year he just plays better and better and better. So please keep it up.
Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you can say about him. I remember the start of the Stars when he was quite young, and he used to have the puck in our own zone, and we all just used to cringe. We were like, oh no, what's he going to do? Because he likes to do a little move. He likes to put the puck between people's legs, and sometimes he would turn it over quite a lot in our defensive zone, and it would cost us. But as Carol just said there, he's got better every year. And after the game on Sunday, I just looked at him and I thought, wow, how have you not? Why is no one actually come and just said, how much money do you want? How much do you want, and we'll give you it? Because I have no qualms whatsoever about him being able to play at that level. I hope he doesn't go. I hope no one comes with a blank checkbook and say, what do you want? Because I'd be heartbroken to see him go, because he is Billingham through and through. His performances are exceptional. And this is just not in the offensive zone. He's grown so much to be so defensively responsible. He'll forecheck as good as anybody. He'll hit as anybody as much as well. And probably over the last 4 or 5 years, he's probably had more fights than anybody in our roster as well. So he will do that side of the work as well. But you never want him to. They don't call him hands for nothing, and you want those hands wrapped in bubble wrap so he doesn't get injured. But the lad is just phenomenal. He's played wing, he's played centre. He takes up a lot of minutes of the other guys. Top lines, wins face-offs, more important face-offs. Got us back in the good game on Saturday with an unbelievable top corner bar down goal. And I just don't think enough can be said about him. He's unbelievably fit. He's played 60 minutes. He's there at the start. He's there at the end. He's given absolutely everything. And I think he's probably one we need to be very proud of, and hope he sticks around for a fair few more years yet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, can I only echo what you both said. Fantastic to watch him. Like you say, watch him grow.
Sorry, just on what Carol said, in being one of the best. He is the best. There's no one better than what he does in this division. Yeah, you've got Jake Witkowski in the offensive zone. He'll light up the lamp. He's terrible in his own zone. And got Jacob Lookwide, who I hear a lot of Blackburn fans saying he's the best player in the league. Yes, in the offensive zone, he is as talented as anybody, but not in his own zone.
Mm-hmm.
Mossy has turned out to be as good as in his own zone, and he has in the offensive zone. And he carries the puck so well through the neutral zone as well. Just an absolute unbelievable talent. And as of right now, this season, he's the best player in the Morley Conference.
Yeah. Can't disagree. And as you both said, to watch him grow with the way the team's grown since, if you want to say the start of the Stars, since we came back when the forum reopened, to watch him grow, like as John says, from the guy who tried all the fancy tricks to now, let's say the top two-way player that he is. I would say 200 foot, but the forum's not quite 200 feet, so we'll give him a bit of 150-ish feet in a bit. But yeah, the two-way player that he is, but he has the offense to produce as well. And weekends like we've just seen that the 5 goals gets his just reward. So more power to his elbow, and long may it continue. Anything else on the Blackburn game? As I say, we'll do the league tables and stuff in a second. Obviously, they're head and shoulders clear of everybody. So we'll just wait and see. It's when, not if. But we are still the champions until we're not. Anything else on the Blackburn game?
Yeah, don't elbow people on the head again.
Yeah,
I had a massive rant about the referees last week, so I'm not going to rant again. But
we should, because it needs to be. And I'm going to mention another podcast at the moment is doing the same thing about officials. It's starting to be noticed at the top level, and it's really not good enough at our level as well. Just because we're the development kind of level, it needs to be better. For the game in this country to be better, it needs to be better, and it needs to be called out. I understand why coaches can't, because points deductions, threats of more penalties given by that referee when you have them the week after, which is a load of crap. It shouldn't happen, but it does need to be called out, and the higher ups need to know that it does need to improve. And I know it's hard, and I know it's going to take a lot of money, but throw the money at it. Do what you've got to do, because if you don't, the game will only suffer in the long run, and that's even at the Elite League level.
I think it was highlighted more this weekend because we had the same ref on both games, and he consistently. I mean, we go on about inconsistency. This guy was consistent. He consistently didn't call headshots, and that's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
And if nothing else, I hope at least he gets feedback to the effect of call headshots because they're dangerous, because it's not good enough. Again, I ranted about this week, but this is player safety that we're talking about now.
Yeah.
please call out the headshots, because it's, at the end of the day, somebody could get really seriously hurt.
Yeah. For me, the incident on Sunday should have been a 5-minute in a game, and that might have been the wrong call. It might have been wrong. The video footage might come back and say, no, you didn't touch him in the head, or whatever. You never did whatever it looked like. But at the time, it looked like he elbowed him in the head. The footage for me does look like he's elbowed him in the head. Call that 5 in a game. If you get it wrong, change your penalty afterwards on a Monday night. Knock it down to a 2-minute, change the penalty point system. But on the night, call it 5 in a game, because that's the only way players will learn. If you keep calling that headshot a 5 in a game, players will stop doing it. And if you get it wrong, so what? It's player safety that you're putting first. And you can change things afterwards, so the player doesn't get a ban, or he doesn't get penalty points, so it leads up to a ban. But on the night, like if things like have happened this weekend, just call it 5 in a game. If it happens to us, we'll have to suck it up. That's just the way it goes. But player safety has to be first and foremost. We've had 3 players hit to the head this weekend. 3 players. And it's not good enough. I might get wrong with this, but I don't know if they're going to be available in the next week or two, because I don't know how they were on Monday or Tuesday at work. I don't know. So they might have just carried on the game. You just don't know with head injuries where it might lead later in that week, or later in that month, or later in that year. But just call it 5 in a game. And if it turns out to be wrong, downgrade it, because that's the easiest thing to do. Then later on, upgrade it and give the player a ban, because they just think, oh, well, I'll get away with it because it'll only be a 2-minute penalty. Call it 5 in a game, get it cut out, and players will learn very, very fast, because they will be constantly getting sick of their teammates saying, what are you doing that for? You're costing us every week. You're costing us a 5-minute power play every week. So just call it, get it wrong, call it 5 in a game. Unfortunately, we're not the NHL where they've got the money where they'll call 5 in a game and review it instantly. We haven't got that, and it won't happen in this country, not at our level. And that's the right way to do it. But just call it 5 in a game and review it on a Monday, and then put it to right, because that's the only way you're going to stamp it out.
Definitely. Like I say, we'll see what if anything comes of the incidents from the 2 games. I know it's like as John says, you've got to ask for a review process. So we'll see if anything comes of the incidents that we've talked about. But yeah, 100% player safety should be, and hopefully is, the overriding priority for things like this. The team we have, we're not against physical play as we've shown, but you can be physical without having your hands high and hitting people in the head.
Yeah, well, I think the Dylan Hullaby, I think the initial hit's fine. He reverse hits Joe Walls, it's fine. But why get the arm involved and raise the arm afterwards and swing the elbow? That's not needed. You've made the good play. You've done the reverse hit, took control of the puck, and took Joe off his feet. But you then used an elbow. Why? You don't need to do that. You've got control, and it's just that extra bit. So Hullaby's initial bit of play was great. Like I say, he saw the hit coming in, reverse hit Joe, but got the other, and then used the elbow, which for me is far too high for the position it was in. And I saw the fan footage, and for me, it's an elbow to the head. And yeah, I'm privy to the tariffs, and it's a tariff 3 for me. So that's my opinion.
Yeah, no, we'll see. Carol, anything to add?
Yeah, just an apology to our regular listener, and he knows who he is, that I'm ranting about refs again. I'm very sorry.
Have you got a special fan?
Yeah, got a fan. Provides me with feedback. Told me last week.
We've got more listeners than just in our Solihull listeners.
Yeah, he told me last week to stop slagging refs off. Sorry.
Tell him to be better.
I don't know we are slagging refs off. So we're making what's the word? Constructive comments about their performance.
Yeah, it's constructive criticism.
Yeah,
pack it in.
We're not slagging them off. But yeah, so yeah, a great game to watch. Congrats to Blackburn taking the win there. Another 2 points closer to their aim of taking the league.
3 points.
Oh, okay.
What else have been reading the rule book again, have I?
Yeah, somebody's been reading the wrong rules.
Yeah, I'll catch up eventually.
Right next to where it says 5 penalty. No, that was last.
No, penalty shot. Yeah. See, I've obviously got a problem with the number 3. That must be it. And then, yeah, so Hawks are closer to their aim of taking the league. And we'll go through the results of the weekend. As well as league play, the final cup spot was also decided at the weekend. So we'll cover that. And then we'll take a break before we talk about the next bits. So North won on Saturday, Blackburn 12, Nottingham 0, 4-0, 2-0, 6-0. The period scores 57 shots to 21. And that kind of went the way of the Hawks, as we suspected. Telford Billingham, as we've talked about. Widnes and Deeside had a home and away series, which seems to have been a bit of a ding dong all weekend. Widnes won, Deeside 2 in regulation. Deeside 48 shots to 29, but only the 1 goal difference, taking the points out of Widnes on Saturday. And then the league game, which is also the final cup qualifier, was at Solihull on a Saturday night, and it finished Solihull 4, Hull 3 in overtime, which meant the Barons took the top spot in Group A and would qualify for the semi-finals. And needed an overtime goal from Corey Goodison to seal the win. But they dominated the shots 48 to 26. But yeah, the Barons take the final spot in the cup. Sunday's action, the reverse, Deeside 3, Widnes 2. A 3-goal period in the middle period has Deeside the spoils. Widnes threatened 2 goals in the third period, but not enough. And Jake Wachowski continues his progress towards 100 points. I think he's up to 95 points now, with 48 goals and stupid assists and all that. A points machine. Billingham Blackburn, we've talked about. Solihull had a home doubleheader. They finished off the Sheffield Scimitars 14-2. Do I want to say what the shots on goal were? I don't really, but they were 75-16, which is a little one-sided. There was only 1 power play in the whole game. 4-1, 6-1, 4-0, the period scores there. So big one for Solihull. And then Nottingham showed their home win over Billingham a couple of weeks ago. Wasn't a fluke. They turned over the Hull Jets 3-1 at the NIC. 3 goals on 30 shots. Woodward, and obviously they're out without their main player who was on GB duty as well. So yeah, Woodward, Owen, and Birchnell for Nottingham. So yeah, good win for the Nottingham Lions, making it interesting down at the bottom of the table. Before we do the league standings, anything from the fixtures you want to talk about, John? Or do you want to kick us off?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the Widnes series. I think again, just massive kudos to them. I think I was in a fan chant saying they're probably. I know they're not getting the results they want, but I think their fan base and their coaches are going to be absolutely top of like cock a hoop of the performances that they're putting in, and only losing by a goal in each game to a team like Deeside, who's offensively stacked. It's great to see the absolute lengths and strides that they've made compared to last year. And obviously we have a break coming up, and our first game back after that break will be against Widnes. So I'm under no illusions that it'll be a very difficult game. But yeah, it's great to see that Widnes have kind of took a step in performance-wise and their efforts, and I'm sure eventually they'll be rewarded with results as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. Carol, for you?
Obviously, congrats to Solihull on making the cup semi-final. All waiting with bated breath for the announcement of Ethel's birthday this week, so that you can try and get out doing the Saturday home game. Telford being a bit naughty and already announcing the Sunday home game.
They had no choice. They had no choice.
Yeah.
Senior team have got the ice time.
Yep.
Nothing Ethel's birthday can do this time.
Well, you never know. She could have her birthday and watch the hockey at the same time. Who knows? And Hull, to be involved in that game and come away literally empty-handed in terms of getting a cup qualification slot. Got a point out of the game because it was an overtime loss. But then going to Nottingham the next night and coming up against the Lions, who we know just outwork you on home ice. And that for me was a tale of whatever happened on Saturday, because Nottingham got absolutely reamed on Saturday, 12-0. I mean, granted, it was Blackburn, but they got absolutely reamed, and then came back on Sunday to face a Hull team who'd only just missed out in Solihull, and just thought, they must have just thought, right, let's just go for it. We've got some wrongs to put right, and we know to our cost how hard they can work and just literally battle for everything. And I'm quite sure that's what happened on Sunday. So a massive turnaround for both teams on Sunday.
How strong were the Hull Jets on Sunday? Because I believe a few of them did step up to the Seahawks, including Dan Crow.
Not a
Sure,
stupid, sorry.
Sure, Dan Crow started.
Yeah, no, they had Dominic Smith and Sasha Bravo were the goalies on Sunday.
Best name in hockey, by the way.
Yep.
There was a Southeast junior, I think, used to be played a conference one year called Hudson Friday. I think that's
Sasha Bravo's got to be better than
no
that.
Hudson Friday beat Sasha Bravo.
Who long time ago? Who was that player that the Vipers were linked with for every summer? Oh,
Robin Big Snake.
Yeah,
Robin Big Snake.
Robin Big Snake. Yeah,
Yeah, we're staying in one year, and it turned out we shouldn't have because he was rubbish.
What a name for the Vipers to sign, Big Snake. What a name.
Yeah, it was like a native Indian blood he had, so that was how he got his name, Big Snake.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, back in the day. You see, take it back in my youth there, the Vipers, John Oppo. But yeah, so Hull had Sasha Bravo, had Mark Florence, Richie Hager, Ethan Daintith, Chris Wilcox, Kieran Beach, Regan Taylor, Jorina Knox, Aidan Dancer. So really, it was only the goalie, I think.
Yeah. Probably the emotions from the Saturday game, just missing out on the semi, because obviously the week before they were atrocious in Billingham. So
I mean, Dom Smith was only two goals on 29 shots, so he wasn't, nothing out of place there. And that Lions, Evan Cole's their goalie, 1 goal on 40 shots. So obviously had the better of the goalie stats, but they weren't noticeably under strength, I would say. Like I said, to possibly just a bounce back from the respective Saturday results. So Cup we'll talk about in a moment. But as far as the league standings go, Hawks are up to 72 points from 26 games. D-side have 53 points from 24, as do Telford in third, 53 from 24. Solihull 51 from 23. Then there's a bit of a gap. Billingham Stars kind of isolated in fifth at the minute, 38 points from 25 games. Then there's another 9 points down to Hull. Hull and Widnes have 29 points. And then Nottingham have the last playoff spot at the moment with 21. And then Leeds on 14. And Sheffield, their perfect record continues, 0 and 25. So the Cups this weekend, we'll talk about it in a moment after the break, but just quickly the semi-final ties, Solihull Telford and Blackburn D-side. We'll talk about that in a moment. We'll take a quick break, and when we come back, Cup semi-finals and any other business to round out today's episode of STARCAST.
This episode is brought to you by Thor's Ice Cream, the best ice cream menu in Billingham. Find them at the rink on game days and pick from their range of amazing desserts, including the Biscoff brownie and the famous whippy trays, with a choice of amazing toppings. Supporters of the Stars and Buccaneers and proud partners of STARCAST. Find Thor's Ice Cream on social media.
Welcome back to STARCAST, your official podcast from your Billingham Town Council, Billingham Stars. No action for your Stars this weekend, as it is Morley Cup and Laidler Cup semi-finals. As we said just before the break, in the Morley, it's Solihull Telford and Blackburn D-side. In the Laidler, the Bucks are in action against the Coventry Blaze away on Saturday and home on Sunday. We'll talk about that in a second. But for the Morley Cup, Carol, the way the ties have worked out, two kind of, you could say two kind of derby games. You've got the Solihull Telford, kind of Midlands-ish. Whether they both enjoy to be called Midlands teams, I don't know, but that rivalry, and then kind of Northwest, Deeside, and Blackburn. So two cracking ties on paper. Where's your thoughts, and what do you think's going to happen?
If you're a neutral, which for a change we are, these are actually two really cracking ties to look forward to. I'm intrigued by what's going to happen this weekend. As you say, there's a little bit of local rivalry going on with both ties. We're far enough into the northeast to say both of those ties are local derbies, so it's fine. Solihull Telford have many years of history, so that's going to be tasty. Obviously, Solihull are not going to appreciate playing on a Saturday night at home, but I do think that Saturday game is going to decide the tie, because I do think it's going to be really tight, and I can't see Telford losing on their own ice. So for Solihull to get through, I think they have to be a good few goals ahead after the Saturday tie. Whether that happens or not, who knows? But for me, that's how that tie's got to go for Solihull to go through. The other tie is properly intriguing because Blackburn have want to win everything. I think Deeside are one of the few teams that can put a proper spanner in that works. If their big players all turn up, and if their goalie has the game that we know he can, or the games that you know he can, plural. However, again, that's going to depend on the Saturday game, because I can't see Deeside getting a result in Blackburn. So I think they have to put that one properly to bed on Saturday. We shall see how both of those games go. Personally, I think it's going to be Blackburn and Telford. But equally, I could see Solihull v Deeside. It is that close, but my gut feel is Blackburn and Telford.
Yeah. Before Jono comes in, just in the league game so far, each team has won the home game. They've all played once at each other's rink, and the home team has won. But Blackburn and Solihull have won by a lot, and the other team have won by the odd one or two.
Yeah.
So, like you say, the first legs are going to be crucial. Jono?
I think, Carol has a point to such, but I think it'll come down to individuals. It'll be how well Solihull deal with Luca and Silverthorne more than how well Telford deal with Otterson. Like we just saw Saturday, them two could go missing for 5 minutes, and then bang, both of them have got 3 goals on the board in a blink of an eye. It's a big opportunity for them and a big moment for them, and probably it could be a huge turning point in their franchise, as in the team moving forward. If they can get a cup final and maybe a Morley Cup in the bank for Telford, it could do wonders for the club and drag in new faces. The Aaron Older team, we joke every week about Silverthorne and Luca being 380 years old. So
that goes up every week.
So it does. So they do need to start attracting the younger talent, because the younger talent that they have got, Taylor Stanton, unfortunately, I've heard all the great things about him. He was missing on Saturday, but he's also got that potential to be a full-time Tiger in the senior team in the next couple of years. So they need to start finding that happy medium. But that's by the by. Doesn't really have much going forward, but I just think it's an opportunity for Telford that they might see they might not get again. So I think there's more riding on it for them, and I do think for whatever strange reason, I don't know why, I have any feeling that Telford scraped through, whether it goes to overtime or what, I don't know. As for the other tie, again, it's more of will Deeside ever get a better chance of winning a trophy, and as much as he hasn't done it yet to a point. If Jake Witkowski turns up, the best version of him, the one that got him in BU, I probably can't see anyone stopping him, no matter how good Blackburn play. If he wants to take that team to the cup final on his own, I think he has very much the talent and the capabilities to do it. Granted, he has a bit of support, and they've kind of got that. The netminder has got a great CV and good pedigree. He needs to be huge all weekend. Defensively, it's not quite there for D-side, so the forwards will have to put in one hell of a shift. But the only thing that I can see Blackburn not making it is if the pressure gets the better of them. But I do see a Hawks Telford final.
Yeah, and we saw that on Sunday. The Hawks were down 2 goals twice, and they came back and they managed to use the talent they've got, the depth they've got, and find that way to win. So you would think that would happen, but like I say, D-side, they're on this first year of they've got all the guys on multi-year contracts, so obviously they're building something. And I agree with you. If Jake wants to be that player, he's got the ability to single-handedly make a difference. So we'll see. Telford, I think it's great that they're challenging. Obviously justifies their decision to come into this division. It shows they're in the right division for their club as a development tool, as part of the development pathway, which we're hugely keen on. And it shows they're in the right place. And Solihull perennially have been kind of there or thereabouts. I would fancy the Barons to edge it, but we shall see. I agree. I think the first legs are going to be crucial and see what teams can take into the decisive Sunday. So we shall enjoy watching that one. Sadly, from afar this year, but we will be back, I am sure. Anything else on the cups before we? Oh, Div 2 cups. Yeah, big Bucks on home game on Sunday. Sorry, just forgetting my notes. Bucks are at home on Sunday to the Coventry Blaze NIHL. Played them a couple of times up here already. And been kind of competitive little series with the Blaze, so well worth watching. They're in Coventry on Saturday night, and if you are wanting some hockey fix this weekend, then Sunday the usual 5:30 at the Forum. I'm sure they'll be delighted to see some fans in the stands from the Stars as well to support
if that game's a 1-goal game or a 2-goal game, that Sunday game is going to be electric. The games between them so far at the Forum have been insane. They don't like each other too much either. I think that's safe to say. They do not like each other too much. I think, to be fair, I think the last 1 or 2 times I've seen them at the Forum, the Bucks have been far the better team, but discipline's kicked them in the backside and they've come away with 2 losses. But yeah, if that game's got 1 or 2 goals in it on Sunday, what a treat for fans. They do obviously have the cheaper admission as well. So if you want to be entertained for £5, I'd make sure you're at that Forum on Sunday if it's a 1 or 2 goal game, because that could be absolutely electric game of hockey for the Bucks.
Yeah. The other tie in the Ladler Cup is Sheffield against Sutton. And it looks like that's not going to be completed this weekend due to ice time availability. So first leg, 25th of January, second leg to be confirmed. So
unfortunately, both of those teams are based out of Ice Sheffield. So and we all know how bad it is trying to get any ice at Ice Sheffield. That's unfortunate.
As long as they're done by the middle of February when the final's due, that'll be fine. Play the Friday night before the final.
You want a big weekend where all the semi-finals happen. So it is a little bit disappointing that that's not going to happen. And especially given those are the top 2 teams in the league as well.
It's weird how they don't have the ice time availability, because obviously they've got part 2 as well. But
yeah, it is what it is, I guess. But it is disappointing that tie, that semi-final series isn't happening at the same time as everybody else's, really, because that's what's made the cups a kind of a showcase in these last few years, is having it all happen at the same time.
Just thinking out loud, I think it's a hangover from the figure skating's on in Sheffield this weekend, isn't it? So they're using the big arena, but also using Ice Sheffield as their training. So there is literally no hockey ice in Sheffield this weekend at all. At all. Yeah, because I saw them. They've redone the ice at Bauer Arena as well. They've covered the ice with just a white pad with the tournament logo for the skating, I think, because that's the practice rink. So that's why there's no ice. It just came to me in a flash of inspiration. But yeah, Sheffield and
Good job the Skims never made it then.
yeah, all play at the end of January. But yeah, Sheffield and Sutton, as Carol says, the top two teams in the division, will point out a healthy semi-final when it can take place. But yeah, good luck to the Buccaneers this weekend. And I say if you're wanting a hockey fix, and Sunday at 5:30 at the Forum Ice Arena. Any other business? Carol, do you want to start with your points?
I think I was just going to mention what we mentioned last week, which was the German Winter Classic, which was as cold as expected. Take note, Gary Bettman. And
he's in Utah next year.
It is. Step in the right direction. Well, step north anyway. And Lee and Kirk getting the overtime winner. So all's well that ends well with the German Winter Classic.
Yeah, and the players plunging through the foot thick of snow off the ice as well looked good, and the atmosphere sounded great as German hockey tends to do. But the atmosphere was brilliant, and
I will
point that out. As well.
I will point that out now. If anybody wants to go and see hockey on the continent, just to see a game, go to Germany, because the atmosphere for games there is absolutely mental. And just, I mean, you can tell it's going to be mental by if you've ever watched German football league and you see the crowds all dancing and flares going off, and it's all very colourful and very loud. The hockey's exactly the same. So if you ever want to go and visit, go see hockey somewhere in Europe, go to Germany, because it's brilliant.
I highly recommend Berlin, which is, of course, cousins of Billy, being the polar bears. So I highly recommend the fan curve in Berlin if you do want to go and get to hockey in Germany.
Or Cologne, which has the largest stadium for watching ice hockey in Europe.
And they fill it.
And they fill it. It's got 19,000, and it's absolutely mental.
Fantastic. And I say great from Kirky on a bit of a tear as well. So long may that continue. From the weekend, obviously we had, as well as the game, Carol, we had Clifton Lodge as a sponsor. Turning up for Zoe. Zoe had a bit of a traumatic trip to get there with a car problem, but we got her there eventually. And we had Andy's Man Club at the game as well. So the community, we've talked about this before, the community part of Billingham, local sponsor, been on Teesside since the 1950s. I read my notes on that one. And Andy's Man Club, the Stockton branch, we've had them at the games before. Kind of the community side of Billingham hockey coming to the fore at the weekend as well.
Absolutely. And I know Zoe listens to this podcast or watches, whichever. But always delighted to see Clifton Lodge. I'll do a little bit of sponsor plug here. Clifton Lodge look after both of my dogs, who are currently lying under the desk. And they're fantastic. So it's always lovely to see them at a game as well. So
look after Datsuk as well.
There you go. Looks after Jono's dog. And just a fabulous little vet group to be associated with. Proper Teesside stalwarts. And obviously they have a presence in Billingham, not far from me. And Andy's Man Club, they're in an advisory capacity on Sunday. We've got, I think we mentioned this last week. It's that apparently next Monday is the most depressing day of the year, officially Blue Monday.
My birthday.
There you go. It's Jono's birthday. He's going to get depressed on his birthday. But it's kind of a good way to highlight the continuing topic of men's mental health, because the spotlight has been quite rightly shone on men's mental health more and more and more over the last few years. Encouraging men to talk is notoriously difficult because you guys don't tend to talk about your feelings too much. We have to drag it out of you, and sometimes that's not possible. Andy's Man Club obviously offer a great space for people to just to talk, really, and hopefully just help people along the journey to improved mental health. So always great to welcome Andy's Man Club to the bar. I'm sure it won't be the last time we see them. And they had a fantastic time. So if there is anybody listening, as I said last week, if there is anybody listening that feels like they're in a space that they shouldn't be and they need to reach out, then if we only point out to one person that Andy's Man Club are there, please do reach out to them, or seek out any resources that they can offer.
Yeah, no, 100%. A few times I passed, the store looked busy on Sunday as well. People just asking questions, getting some leaflets and the wristbands and the flyers that they had. So hopefully it was worthwhile for them as well. Jono, you want to talk about the other competition that's coming up in February? Rink look like it's we're getting there.
Yeah. A few hundred builders are going to be busy for the next, I think, working night and day for the next fortnight. But no, I think it's time to start getting excited for some winter hockey, winter Olympic hockey, that is. It's going to be fantastic. We all got super excited at last year's NHL's best on best version. I think we're all equally anticipating a USA goal final and a bit more of what them two teams brought. But I don't know what TV channels it's going to be on yet. I really do hope it's going to be on free to air, because you're going to get a treat in some fantastic hockey. A lot of the rosters are getting named, so just be ready and be aware. And so there's going to be some fantastic hockey coming along very, very soon in the Winter Olympics. Some great rosters. Obviously, the usual suspects are going to be absolutely stacked: Sweden, Canada, USA, Finland. But Olympic hockey does always spring a surprise as well.
Yeah, I think the women start on the 4th or 5th of Feb, and then on the men are the 9th.
Yeah, they have a little qualifying round first, don't they?
Yeah.
On the 5th.
So yeah, keep an eye on TV listens to see where you can tune into that one. Talking about national teams and stuff. A couple of GB teams were in action this past week. GB's under 20 men managed to get a silver medal in their competition in Romania. So great job from them, the players and the staff on that one. And GB18's women were in Poland. They got promoted last year, so they stepped up to Division 1, and they managed to retain their Division 1 status, finishing 4th out of 6. Finished the tournament with a win over Australia, so we win back the Ashes, and they won 4-1, so that cancels out whatever happened down under this winter, so that's fine. But yeah, great job from the two GB teams in action. Next one's in action. You've got GB men shortly. A challenge tournament in Edinburgh in February, and then the 18s are away later in March as well. So still some GB action, and obviously we finish the season GB back in the top division. This weekend, not on our normal beat, Nottingham Panthers are hosting the Continental Cup. It's a new format this year, a 6-team, 2-group tournament. Starts on Wednesday, runs right through until Saturday. So I'm going to be down at that one for a little change of pace, watching some hockey there. And the last bit of AOB that it kind of broke just after I think put out last week's show. Once and future guest of the pod, Henry Stalins, is standing down from Ice Hockey UK, having got the vote through for the merger. He's standing down early this year, and will be placed on an interim basis by Grant King, who's current Chief Operating Officer. We were hopeful to get Henry back on to talk about the vote, how it went his way, but he's decided that is enough for him. He's got the vote through, and he'll be on to challenge his new. So we'll keep trying to see if we can get him on to talk. If not, we'll try and get Grant on as well to follow up on the merger. But a surprising one. Talked to a few people. They weren't as surprised getting the vote through. was the big thing. I thought he would have stayed to sing and kind of see the work starting at least, but we'll see what he comes up with next. But yeah, it was great to talk to him a few weeks ago. But yeah, anything from yourselves on that one?
I'm a bit like you, Craig. I actually thought he would be around at least to start the work that he'd talked about on this very pod. So I put myself firmly in the surprised camp.
Yeah, I'm probably more in the very disappointed camp, to be honest. He spoke well. He said what the reasons why he was here and what he wanted to achieve, but theoretically he hasn't achieved it. Yeah, the vote's gone through, but that just means the harder work starts right now and putting everything together to make sure that we have a successful and well-functioning governing body to try and get a men's team or a women's team into the Olympics. And who knows what's happening behind the scenes, but from me, it's just a little disappointing that he's abandoned ship, for a better word. Yeah,
I say we'll keep trying. We'll ask the questions to see if he is. I don't know when he actually does officially leave. We shall keep trying. But that's it for this edition. Next week, obviously, we'll have no games of the Stars to talk about. Yes, Carol, sorry.
No, while you were talking there, I did do a quick Google, and the Winter Olympics is on the BBC 1 and 2 and iPlayer, and also on TNT Sports.
Oh, you're going to be treated to some great hockey. Fantastic. Everyone needs to call us sicky when the Olympics are on.
As long as it's not Steve Cram doing it like he used to. Fine.
I was going to say,
Bob Ballard. We've got to get Bob Ballard back, surely.
Yeah, he didn't he get let go a couple of years ago? I think he did. I think he said something he shouldn't on air.
Bring him back. It's Winter Olympics.
He's, for me, is the best at it, and I hope they do.
Craig, keep your phone on. Keep your phone on. You know that call might just come.
No, I'm in Edinburgh that week. I can't do the Olympics. I'm doing the GB tournament in Edinburgh. Anyway, so next week, obviously no Stars games to talk about. So what we'll do is we'll put a call out. We'll put it on the post accompanying this video. We'll put it in a couple of the fan groups as well. We'll ask for any questions, any points you want us to raise. We'll call it a mailbag, if you want to call it. That seems to be the in thing. We'll do a mailbag episode. Obviously, we'll talk about the cup semi-finals and look ahead to the Stars' return to action. But mainly, we'll try and get some points to discuss from you out there who listen. However you consume your STARCAST every week. So yeah, we'll have an email. We'll have a post on the forum as well, the Facebook pages and what have you. We'll let you know how you can get in touch. Any questions, any points you want us to talk about, we'll do that for a part of next week's show, and then we'll get back into the swing with the Stars at home to witness in a couple of weeks' time. But for now, for having no games to preview, I think we've gone long again. So thank you for sticking with us. Thanks for listening, and your support as always. Your liking, subscribing, sharing, emailing, clipping, sending, whatever you do with the podcast each week. It is very much appreciated. Thanks for sticking with us. I say enjoy whatever you're going to do this week with no Stars games. We'll still be back next week to talk more. But from Jono, from Carol, and from myself, from the Billingham Stars, bye for now.
Thank you for watching and listening to STARCAST. Follow us on social media and remember to subscribe and leave a review on your podcast platform.